Hi, my name is Jen.
And I'm Joanne. Happy spring!
Thanks for registering for our Take and Make art and craft kit for April. This month we're making seed packet wreaths. So if you registered for the craft, in your packet you should have received one 14-inch wire wreath form. You should have also received 4 sheets of these vintage seed packet images. You should have 6 foam pieces of greenery. You'll also have a little container of tacky glue. The tacky glue will work for this project, but if you have a glue gun, that would probably work better. The tacky glue will totally work. And we're going to use a glue gun today just for the sake of moving the video along a little faster. It's just that the tacky glue, you'll have to let each section dry a little bit before you move on. You also should have 1 pipe cleaner, and you're gonna have 3 rolls of burlap ribbon. You're gonna have a brown roll and 2 colored rolls.
Or some of you have 2 brown rolls and 1 colored roll. Kind of ran out.
Yeah, so anyway, you'll see how those 3 rolls are gonna be used around the frame of the wreath. You're also gonna need a pair of scissors. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take those 4 sheets of the seed packet images, these really cute vintage seed packets that we found, and you're gonna cut them out. So when you're done cutting them out, you should have 24 of these little seed packet cards. Okay, so so put that aside for now. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take the wire frame and 2 of the ribbon rolls. You should choose 2 of the ribbon rolls that are the same color. So for Joanne's choosing the green burlap to do this step. Open up those rolls of ribbon that are the same color, and you're gonna start wrapping the frame.
So because this ribbon has a wire on each side of it, you really don't need to use the glue. What you can do is you can actually loop around the wire frame with the fold, and then with your finger, just hold on gently and pull until it secures itself. And what you'll do is you will continue to wrap around the wire frame with that colored burlap. Keep going. You can space it out evenly as you're going along. You can always adjust it. But once you get it secure, you don't even have to put a piece of glue on it or tack it with glue at this point because it's already picked itself up. If you want to make doubly sure when you put it in at the beginning, you can always fold it over. So as you're reaching the end of the roll, you're going to see that there's also going to be a piece of wire at the end. So you can do one of 2 things. You can tack this with some of your tacky glue, or you can simply just wrap it around and secure it that way. So what I'm doing here is now, because I've already utilized 1 roll, I'm actually going to glue the second roll on top of the first roll and continue looping it around. Okay, so what you're going to do now is, because you're hitting the end of this roll, and you're going to need to leave a space, for the bow that you're going to make. So when you have about, about 4 or 5 inches, leave that space available. And what you're going to do is cut the ribbon, the burlap ribbon. Save that green piece because you're going to use it for your bow. And you're going to tack again to the burlap. And again, I'm using a glue gun for the sake of expediency. Glue guns are great because they actually work so much more quickly than the glue. I don't know how many of you are real crafters, probably a lot of you. We've all turned into crafters with our spare time.
You can get these for pretty...
Oh, they're really cheap.
Inexpensive at...
Michael's.
Yeah.
Michael's has them, and a lot of times what happens is Michael's runs so many coupon specials, you could probably pick one up for less than $5.
Yeah, and then the dollar store has the glue sticks.
Yep, the glue sticks. Just make sure, I'm going to give you a little tip about the dollar store. Sometimes the glue sticks at the dollar store are a little thinner than what's here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the seed packs that you've cut out and create a design. Some people would just maybe want to leave them nicely spaced. Some people may want to put them in some kind of a color category. What I had done originally was, because I'm such a sunflower freak, is I put my sunflower on top and I use that as my guide. And again, make sure it's centered over the bottom, so when you put the bow in, the bow is also centered. And now what I'm going to do is just arrange them before I glue them. So arrange them in any pattern that you see fit. And again, if you want to put some white ones on the side, you want to do some color coordination, that's what kind of I did the first time I made the wreath. I looked at them and I said, gee, that one looks nice here. You can angle them, you can put them straight. It all depends on what you want this to look like. You don't have to use them all. You can crowd it, you can leave it empty, but at the bottom, where you're going to put your bow, make sure you leave some space. So as you can see, what I did was I just laid out a pattern as the way I want the wreath to look. You don't have to use all of the seed packs. You could save them for something else like a piece of garland, or if you want to add them to your garden, if you're growing any of these things, you could use it as a stake in your garden. And now I'm going to glue. So here's what it looks like with all of the seed packs put on. The next thing you're going to do is take your glue pack again, and what you're going to do is you're going to glue on the quote-unquote greenery. So take those 6 little pieces of faux flowers that we gave you and kind of place them where you'd like them, any way you think that they look appropriate. I put mine on the top, the middle, and the bottom just to give it some color. You can tuck them underneath the seed packs, because what you're going to do is you're going to glue them in place. So once you're happy with the arrangement, then you can take your glue again and you can glue them in. So that is where I am going to put mine.
Just remember, again, the tacky glue, Joanne's using a glue gun, but the tacky glue in your bag will work. You just have to let everything dry a little bit longer. The tacky glue is completely
it's appropriate
for this project. But again, if you're using a glue gun, you know, that's great.
Yeah, it just goes a little bit faster for you, and it's something that you'll use again. I find my glue gun to be a lifesaver.
And if you like these projects we're doing, you know, we'll always include glue, but you know, if you want to purchase a glue gun for these projects, that might be a great idea too.
Right. I'll speed it up, or you can speed it up.
I think the only thing we probably don't usually include is a scissor. I mean, everything else we'll put in these bags, we'll purchase and put in these bags for you.
We try to make this as fun as possible. We don't want you running around having to think what else you need to do. So that is what it's going to look like pre-bow. Okay, so if you remember, there were 2 colors that were the same, and then you had a 3rd color of burlap. Take the remainder of the 2nd roll of burlap that you did not use around the frame, go to the 3rd roll of burlap, and cut a piece that is identical in size. So what I'm doing is I'm just wrapping it around here, grabbing a pair of scissors, and I'm cutting this. What you're going to do next is you're going to make a bow. It's going to be a rather large bow, but it's going to cover this whole entire section. You can make it big, you can make it small, it's up to you. Take the bow, take the ribbon on the bow, and start folding it in and out. And try to make the loops the same size as you go along. Now you may have to readjust this because you don't know what your tail is going to look like yet. Some people have another way of doing this. This is the way I end up doing it. And then what I'll do is I'll look at it and I'll say, okay, this side looks better than this side because it's kind of short. I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it, just like that. Take the pipe cleaner and wrap it around. Wrap it around as tight as you possibly can. And what I try to do is I try to tie the pipe cleaner around it so it will stay in place. I'm going to tie it and bring the tails of the pipe cleaner to the back, because that is what's going to secure the bow to the frame.
Okay, so show me the bow, how you make the bow one more time. I'm in awe of the bow making skills because I have none of them. I can glue, I can cut out and glue, but I can't make a bow. So I want to see that again.
All right, so the method that I use is that I took the 2 pieces of burlap that were cut exactly the same size, and I started folding them back and forth.
About how many, like around?
Well, again, I'm eyeballing it at
Yeah.
this point, Jen. There's another way that you can actually do this, and I'll show you. You can actually take both ends of this. And this is a little bit more difficult. It kind of like, it quickens the process, and all you're doing is tying it like that,
Yeah.
which is also a way you can do it. So you're just folding it in half and folding it in half again. You'll get it a little bit more even that way. Let's do it that way, just to show you again. I just took the ribbon. There's so many different ways to do this. If you look at any of the YouTubes, you make yourself crazy. So all I'm doing is folding it back and forth, and just twice. And I'm
About
still
halfway,
getting,
yeah.
I'm still getting that same
Right,
bow.
right.
And I'm going to use the same method. I'm going to take it, and because it's wire, I'm just going to squeeze it or twist it so it becomes a little bit more full. I'm taking the pipe cleaner, I'm wrapping it around, and if you want to really be like nitpicky, sometimes I am on these things, sometimes I'm not, I'll tie it really tight in the back. And what's great about pipe cleaners is there's wire in them, and it always will secure something. So this piece of it is going to go behind the frame itself. But before you put the bow on the frame, again, make sure this is nice and tight or else it's going to come out. Turn it a couple of times.
Want me to do it?
I got 1, 2. And because I'm a buckle my shoe kind of girl, I even tie it sometimes just to be extra sure. So now I know it's not going anywhere. So now I'm looking at this kind of bow tie shape. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to start pulling the ends out of the bow. And again, the great thing about this is because there's a wire in it, you can shape it to whatever shape you want. And I'll alternate, because if you keep pulling them in the same direction, you'll get all blue on one side or all brown on one side and the other color that you were given. So I just keep pulling, making sure that they alternate. And again, you can make this bow as big or as small as you want. It's all dependent upon what's left on that second roll of burlap. So as you can see, I'm just pulling away. Jenny, really like, Jen's in awe.
I'm staring at this bow.
Jen's in awe about a bow.
I'm trying to like drill this into my brain about how to do it.
Well, she can always knock on my door, and I'll be more than happy to show her how to make a bow. But again, shape it. That's the most important thing. You've got to learn how to shape the bow. You can go back in, and once it's on there, you'll even shape it even more if it's not covering all of the wire. So here's your bow. And again, I'm not doing 100% shape on it, but I'm at least giving you an idea of what you should be doing with the bow.
Amazing.
So, and the last thing you're going to do is, and again, I see that, I don't like the way that looks, is you're going to secure it to the bottom of the frame. So you're going to take the excess pipe cleaner, you're going to turn over your frame, and you're just going to run it through the center. And make sure you do it on the front and not the back, or else I'm going to be backwards. Run it through the center. And this is where it gets a little fun. You can tie it, you can twist it, you can do whatever you want with it. Make sure it stays on there, but it will secure itself. Then you'll come to the front. You'll hide all the seams here, of course. Fix the bow again. Fluff the bow. Cover up what's left of the frame. And now you have a seed wreath, which you can hang up wherever you please. It could be on a door, it could be on the back of a house. Well, I wouldn't put it on my house, but if it's covered, you can put it on the back of a house. And you have a seed wreath to welcome spring. Not that difficult to make.
Except the bow. Just
Except
kidding.
the-
Just kidding. You did a great tutorial on the bow. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed making our seed packet wreath for this month's Take and Make. If you want to watch the video at any time in the future, you can, either on the event calendar on our website or on our YouTube, which if you search YouTube for SHPL Tube, you'll find all of our YouTube videos. You'll find all of our Take and Make videos going back to when we started this, along with a lot of videos for children that our librarians have made, and some book reviews that Joanne and I and Catherine, another librarian, have made. So definitely check out our YouTube. I just want to also mention that in your packet, it's kind of hard to see here, but Joanne had found in the New York Times back in March a great way to start seeds indoors using newspaper. So we put those instructions inside because we just loved that it was such a simple way to start your seeds inside without any special containers or going crazy trying to use anything but a newspaper.
I am going to interject and say, folks, if you have pictures of your completed wreaths, please send them to us. You can send them to Adult Services at shpl.info. Adult Services is all one word. Or do we have an alternative, Jen?
You can, no.
Okay, well, you send them to Adult Services. One of us will pick up the email.
I'll put that at the end of this video, the email address again.
We're a little seed punchy right now. Thanks for joining us, and happy spring again.
Bye.